Her name was Eleanor. And for 58 years, she lived 15 minutes away from a family who never stopped looking for her. I'm Sarah Whitfield, and when I called the number on my grandmother's last letter, I wasn't ready for what happened next. "Hello, this is Eleanor." I froze. I'd rehearsed this moment for 3 days, and every word I'd planned disappeared. "My name is Sarah," I finally said. I think you might be my grandmother's daughter." Silence. Long enough that I thought the call had dropped. Then quietly, "I've been waiting 60 years for someone to say that sentence to me." What she told me next changed everything I thought I understood about my family's story. Eleanor grew up 2 counties over, raised by a kind couple named the Harrisons, who never hid the truth from her. She was adopted. They told her as much as they knew, a young mother unable to keep her in a small Ohio town in 1962. For decades, Eleanor searched. She wrote to adoption registries. She hired her own investigator in the 1990s before it was easy. She got close twice, and both times, the trail went cold. "I stopped looking about 10 years ago," she told me. "I made peace with never knowing." She didn't know that 15 minutes away, in a farmhouse she'd never heard of, a woman named Margaret was doing the exact same thing. 2 years after giving up her daughter, 20-year-old Margaret took a bus to the county courthouse. She'd heard whispers that adoption records could sometimes be unsealed with the right paperwork. The clerk behind the desk was not unkind, but the law in 1964 Ohio was firm. Closed records meant closed records. No exceptions, no names given. "You signed the papers," the clerk told her gently. "That was your decision." Margaret walked out of that courthouse and didn't try again for 11 years, but she never stopped keeping track. Every letter, every dead end, every small clue. She saved it all in a gray metal box. Eleanor and I talked for almost 2 hours that first call. By the end, we'd agreed on something neither of us expected to say so soon. We wanted to meet in person. We picked a diner exactly halfway between our 2 houses. 11 miles from mine, 4 miles from hers. I didn't sleep the night before. I kept thinking about my grandmother, about whether she'd ever driven past that same diner without knowing her daughter lived just past it. 11 years later, Margaret tried again. This time she had money saved, money she'd hidden from the household budget, $5 and $10 at a time for years. She hired a private investigator out of Columbus, a man named Walter Briggs, whose name appears 11 times across the letters in that box. He found a lead, a name, a city, and then 3 months into the search, Margaret's second child was born, my mother. And money and time and courage all ran out at once. She wouldn't try again for another 20 years. I saw her before she saw me, an older woman standing by the door, scanning the room the way you do when you're not sure who you're looking for. Then her eyes found mine. Neither of us said anything for a moment. We just looked. Because there it was, my grandmother's jawline, my mother's eyes, a stranger who looked like she belonged in every photograph in our family album and had never appeared in a single one. "You have her hands," Eleanor said quietly, reaching for mine across the table. "I have a photograph of her from a magazine once, back in the 90s, some town fair thing. I didn't know why I kept it. I think some part of me always knew." I hadn't cried yet through any of this. Not at the funeral, not in the attic, not on the phone. I cried in that diner. Before we left, Eleanor slid something across the table, a small, tarnished locket. "The Harrisons gave me this," she said. "Said it was pinned to my blanket when they got me. I never knew who it belonged to." I opened it. Inside was a photograph too faded to make out clearly, and engraved on the inside cover in tiny letters, a single word. Not Margaret's name, not Eleanor's name, a name neither of us recognized at all. Eleanor didn't know who that name belonged to. Neither did I. But if there's one thing I've learned since opening that box in my grandmother's attic, it's that every answer in this family only leads to another question. Next time, we find out whose name was engraved in that locket, and it will take us somewhere none of us expected. That's next time on American Family Stories.